Hi there, friends and neighbors. This is the Rio Crossing monthly newsletter in video form. I thought I'd try something a little different. Here's a couple of quick items before I get started. First of all, bulk trash, March the 9th through the 13th. And you know, we usually say it's Monday through Friday, and they don't usually come until Friday. Also, no holiday trash or recycle days this month. And the board meeting, in case you're interested, pay close attention and there'll be more in the video later, but it's Thursday, March the 12th at the Avondale Civic Center. So those are our little dates out of the way. We had a really good board meeting in February, and I want to give you all of the details. There are 15 bullet points, and I'm going to launch into them right now. Item number 1, the post-transition first quarter assessments. We've gone through the transition, and I think it's been a pretty good transition, moving away from our previous management company to PDS, Plan Development Services. There are always a couple of glitches, and usually majority of the glitches are around paying the first quarter's assessments. Some people don't quite get the word about the change of where the address is. We'd ask you if you would please just check to make sure that your assessment payment, if it's a check, has been cashed. If it's an electronic one, that it has properly been processed. And if it hasn't, get in touch with the folks at PDS. Lisa, who's our community manager, has already helped out several people. And the board has said we're not going to assess any late fees or anything like that this first quarter. You know, it's time of transition, and let's just kind of get everything up to speed. So if you end up seeing something like a late fee or something from this first quarter, let us know. It's not supposed to be there, okay? Item 2, the Heatherbrae entrance and the landscape revitalization project. Now, the board has moved forward with what I have called the landscape revitalization project pilot effort. And so if you've been paying attention to some of the previous monthly MailChimp things, you know that we've been talking about how we're going to basically replant trees and shrubs around the community. And what I've asked the people who are very involved in this to do is to basically do one small project. And so we're going to basically redo the Heatherbrae entrance. And if you go back to your MailChimp email, and I'll put a link down below, we've basically got a plan put together by Dan the Plant Man, which basically puts color back around the entranceways, kind of the way it was before. It's going to be different, but it's going to be colorful and it's going to be pretty. And I just want to make sure that we can get this done in a certain amount of money in a certain amount of time with very little interruption or hubbub going on in the process. And if we can get that one done, we'll probably go down then and get the Campbell one done. And then from there, we'll create a project to kind of walk around the areas in Rio Crossing, and area by area, decide how we're going to redo those areas. The 3 themes that we had put out for people to look at were a green theme, kind of lush and green, a desert theme, and a colorful theme. And so kind of overwhelmingly split between the desert theme and the colorful theme. So we're going to put the colorful themes into both the entrances. And then in a couple of our greenbelt areas, we'll probably put some of the desert themes in those and be colorful where we think it's appropriate, and desert plants where we think it's appropriate as well. So I just wanted you to know, you hopefully will see sometime in the next month or so a much more beautiful and vibrant Heatherbrae entrance thanks to the landscape revitalization project. Okay, number 3. So we're going to have a Rio Crossing Town Hall on Saturday, March the 21st. Several of your board members will be there, and we'll start at 11 a.m. We'll be down at the Ramada in Roma Park. And basically the primary intent of this is to be able to discuss and answer any questions relating to the landscape revitalization project. Specifically the pilot project, but the overall project in general. There's a sense that members of the community will have questions, and so we'll be there. While we're there, if you've got questions on things relating to other things, we'll do our best to answer those questions. This is not a board meeting. There's no agenda, and so we won't be able to make any decisions. And in general, during these meetings, we'll listen to whatever you have to say, and we may provide some advice for you if you've asked for some advice. But if you're asking us to take some action or something, we'll end up taking that to the March meeting and having the discussion there. But definitely, if you got questions, Saturday, March the 21st at 11 a.m., come talk to us then. And if we have a discussion, it would be in the April meeting because this will be after our March meeting. Item 4, the date and the venue for our board meetings is changing. It's hard to find space that is reasonably priced, fairly close by, available year-round, easy to get in and out of, has all appropriate accommodations and that sort of a thing. The Palm Valley folks where we've been having our meeting about the last year or so have significantly raised our meeting rates since we've changed management companies. They're actually managed by the previous management company. We're going to move back to the Avondale Civic Center. We've chosen the Avondale Civic Center for a couple of reasons. Number one, even though it's a little bit more pricey than some of the other places, the price is still fairly reasonable. Secondly, it's not that far. It's about a 12-minute drive from Rio Crossing. It's not like driving into downtown Phoenix or anything. So it should be, within easy access. The facility is great. There's an overhead projector in each room. There's Wi-Fi there. The chairs are very comfortable. So we will go to the Avondale Civic Center. They're on Avondale Boulevard, just south of I-10. And if you turn in on the Jefferson Street exit, I believe, you're right there. You go in. There are a couple of rooms there. You may have to ask the guard there, which room we're in. Normally we'll be in the Mojave room. But if you don't see us around, come there. So now the other thing is that we are moving the date around. As hard as it is to find a room for everybody that works, finding a date where all of the board members, all 5 board members and our management company can make the date. We've actually decided we're moving to Thursdays. We met on Thursdays for a long time and we really moved to Wednesday to accommodate the Palm Valley Community Center a few months ago. So we're moving back to Thursdays, and in March we're going to be on the second Thursday of the month. So this is March the 12th at 7 p.m. If you're inclined to come out to the meeting, by all means, please come out, join us. We welcome all the homeowners to attend the meeting and participate. There are opportunities there where we'll ask your opinions of things that we're voting on. It's a good meeting to go to, I think, as an association member, at least once or twice a year if you have the opportunity. So the date and venue change for the board meetings, Avondale Civic Center area, on Thursday, March the 12th at 7 p.m. Item 5, we've made some policy revisions to our collections policy and our fines and violations policy. The real substantive changes are sort of minor, really, to accommodate PDS and some of their procedural changes. In some cases, we actually have taken some language out of the documents. There was a feeling that some of the language in there kind of tied the hands of the board to keep them from using their discretion in some cases. I like the fact that we've taken out a couple of the restrictive areas out of there, basically maintained the same fines approach. There's one letter that goes out that really is a courtesy notice, and it includes some information, and it basically says, look, we saw this thing and you should take care of it. And the second notice is also not a fine, but it's what's referred to in the industry as an intent to fine. And so you'll see a change in the policy where instead of specifying 14 days, we've specified 10 days. In general, it'll still be 14 days, but in some cases, it may be a little quicker than that. If it's spotted again, you'll get that notice of an intent to fine. And then 10 to 14 days or 2 weeks later, you might get a $25 fine if you still haven't taken care of whatever it is, the weeds or the Christmas decorations or whatever it is. So nothing really substantive changed in there, but we'll make that available online. The board agreed at the meeting to the language to be put in there, and we're still in the process of formatting it and getting it put together. So it may not be online quite yet, but it should be soon. The collections policy also, a couple of things have changed with PDS. For example, the previous management company would basically send you a rebill notice or an updated statement 15 days after the assessment was due. PDS waits until the 30th day to send that letter. So if you happen to get your payment in and it's late, technically according to the CC&Rs, it's due the first of the month of the first month of the quarter, and it's late on the 15th day after that, we won't hit you with a late fee or anything like that until the 30th day. And at that point, then we will do that. So a couple of changes there, and you'll see those online hopefully soon. Item 6, I'd like for you to register on riocrossing.org. I refer to our two websites really as the internal site and the external site. And the external site is riocrossinghoa.com, and it's the one that I've been running off and on now for a couple of years, and been putting on blog notices and calendar entries and things like that on there, and some of the documents and so forth. The riocrossing.org site, internally really, it's hosted and managed by the folks at PDS. There are some areas of that website that you can get to without having a login, but you can get your property, and if you're an investor and you have multiple properties, you can see your multiple properties, the current status of your assessments and your accounts, and also all of the governing documents, the financial statements, the meeting minutes, all of those documents are there. All you really need to do is log on. If we already have your email address, you should be able to go there and put your email address in and get a change password link in order to change your password and get access. But if you have any issues at all, get in touch with either me or Lisa, and we'll make sure you're in touch with the right person. I highly recommend that all owners of property here in Rio Crossing get registered on riocrossing.org, and that way you have access to the latest information. Number 7. There's an adjustment, really, a new architectural review process that we're going to use internally. Nothing really will change for you as a homeowner. You should be submitting an architectural request anytime you're going to make a change to anything to the outside of your home. There are a couple of exceptions to that, and you need to make sure that you've either read the document or checked with one of us. If you've got a dead plant and you're going to replace it with the same species of plant, you don't really have to have an architectural request. If you're going to do something in your backyard that's going to be below the wall line, you really technically don't have to do an architectural request. But anything else that's going to be visible from outside your yard or any change whatsoever, you really do have to get that approved. You have to have it reviewed and approved, and there's a process that you do need to go through. That really hasn't changed. Here's what's changing. What we used to do up until recently is the architectural review process is done by the design review committee, and we would meet at 6:30 before the board meeting that started at 7. And so once a month we would get together, and sometimes there are no architectural requests, and sometimes there's 1 or 2, and on a rare occasion there's 4 or 5. We would review them and then basically sign paper forms with stipulations and whatever, and give it to the community manager, who would take it back. So what we're going to do instead is the design review committee will meet in one of 3 ways, but we'll do it as needed. We may meet electronically with a video conference. We might saunter down to the Ramada at Roma Park and just sit on the bench there and review architectural requests. Or we might contact the submitter of a request and make arrangements to come see your lot, and you can point out the changes that you're going to make, and we can ask questions and you can ask questions and that sort of thing. I think this will streamline the process so that if you submit one and it goes to PDS, the administrative folks there, we'll email that to the 2 of us that are on the design review committee, myself and Julia currently. We'll contact you and go, hey, look, we're going to either meet by video conference or we'd like to meet with you at your place. Would you like to participate? And we'll try and arrange it at a time so that you can participate if you'd like to do that. A lot of people don't, but we really prefer that you're there to answer any questions that we have, and that facilitates the process as well. If you come to the meeting, we have any questions, we'll ask you, you give us the answer. We see, we weren't really sure where this line is, and you go, that line is really there. Oh, okay, that's fine. Or, oh, it's not fine, but in general, they're fine. We'll approve the request there. If there are any stipulations, like you didn't specify what color you're going to paint the blocks on the wall, we'll put in there stipulated that you paint them the original color. And with those stipulations documented and the approval and the signature there, you will have your answer. And if you want to take a photocopy of that with your phone or whatever, that'd be great. But basically, we will sign it electronically then and get it over to the admin folks, and they'll take care of it from there. They'll file it and they'll send you a copy as well. I think that involving more people in the actual review process will be good for everybody, and it will also decrease any delays. We occasionally get people who go, I've got a contractor and they're ready to start. Well, I'm sorry, but we don't meet for another 3 weeks. And on occasion we will meet, but we're changing up the process where we'll meet as needed in order to do that. So I think that'll work out for everyone, and I look forward to your feedback. Item 8, can you spare an hour a month? The board members, we don't get paid, and we spend some time. It's not a whole lot of time. I spend a little more time than most people because I have some time. But occasionally, we could use just a little bit of help. Maybe an hour a month or less. Sometimes we just, if you're a walker and you're walking around the community, maybe we're just wanting someone to check the backflow valves to make sure that they're not leaking. Occasionally they'll get a slow leak or something. We have a variety of things. Hey, do all of the doggy stations have bags in them? Has the trash been picked up? Is there any leaks in the irrigation system that you see? Those sorts of things. If we have a couple of you who are just sort of looking out for that sort of thing while you're out and about around the community, it doesn't really add up to much time. If you see something, we want you to document it and send it to us. We can't see it all, and we're not always out and about in the community. So if you can spare a little time, especially if you have some skill, like you've done some WordPress sites, you want to help us with the website. Occasionally we have a need to kind of go over some of the accounting information. If you've got the ability to help us out in some of those areas, contact me or Lisa, express your interest, and I promise, if you think we're taking advantage of you and using too much of your time, just let us know and we'll back off. But any help that other members of the community can give us, really does help us out and helps out the association as well. Item number 9, item number 10. Item number 9 is, have you still got your holiday decorations up? If you do, I'm sorry, but the rule is they have to come down within 15 days, I believe. It's February, early March now. Those holiday decorations should be down. Strings of lights, inflatable characters, whatever you've got that's holiday decorations, those should be down by now. So Lisa, when she does the community tours, has already started to write up some of those. In fact, I will point one thing out here. One of the things that I really enjoy about the new management company is she sent a violation notice about some holiday decorations, and she basically got an email back from the recipient of one of these, and they wrote and said, we're out of town for a couple of weeks. We're not really able to get to it, but as soon as we get back, we'll take care of it. And Lisa basically wrote back and said, no problem. As long as we know you're aware of it, and when you get back, you take care of it, we're fine. We're reasonable. If you've got some sort of extenuating circumstance, if you'll get in touch with Lisa, either via email or phone call, or if you can't reach Lisa, you can reach me. We'll be reasonable about it. And just let us know what the situation is, and we'll take care of you. As long as we know you're going to take care of it, we won't bug you about it. Item 10, there's going to be some increased emphasis on vehicles and bulk trash. I don't know why. People put bulk trash out all the time, it looks like. You can drive through the community almost any time, and somebody's got some stuff laying out by the sidewalk, and it shouldn't be that way. There's 1 week where the bulk trash really is permitted. And, if you end up putting it out Friday or Saturday or Sunday before the week of bulk trash, we're reasonable. I'm not going to really go, oh, no, you missed it by a couple of days. But there are people who put it out early, 1 week early, a whole week early. And there are people who put stuff out just any time, the week after or the week after that. And in some cases where the city won't pick up certain items like construction debris, You have to take care of that. And if that's still left over after they go around, you need to take care of that within the next couple of days. Lisa's going to be looking for that as she goes around in her community tours. Now, the same thing for vehicles. And here are a couple of things that we see violated a lot. Number one, your vehicle can be parked in the garage, or it can be parked in the driveway, or it can be parked on the street. But if it's on your lot, it has to be parked in the driveway. It can't be on the pavers. It can't be on the granite. It can't be on grass. It has to be parked on the driveway. Another thing that's important is that it cannot extend over the sidewalk or the curb. I believe all of our homes have a sidewalk area. Either way, not encroaching on the sidewalk, not encroaching on the curb. I'm not, at this point at any rate, discussing parking in general. I'm talking about parking on your lot. The other rules that we see, there are rules about parking RVs and campers and trailers and boats and that sort of thing. And in general, the CC&Rs say these can't be parked, kept, or stored on any lot so as to be visible from neighboring property. But we do have a policy if you have an RV or even a boat trailer or something and you're going to take it out, and when you come back, you want to clean it up or whatever, you can park it on your gravel on the side of your driveway for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. All you have to do is first send an email to Lisa and say, look, here's my address. I'm going to put my RV in my yard for a couple of days. And she'll write back and go, okay, thank you very much. And as long as we know, then you won't get a violation notice for it. If we don't know, then we're assuming that you don't know the rule and you'll get a violation notice because we haven't been informed that you're going to do it. All we ask you to do is to let us know so we know that you know that we know that you know, or something like that, okay? Item 11, the lot house maintenance review. All I'm really asking here is for you to please go outside, look around your home, look good on the roof, and if there's anything that is broken or needs repairing or needs painting, that you take care of it. We had a pretty decent storm back in sort of late summer, early fall of 2018. It's been over a year and a half. There were a bunch of homes in Rio Crossing that lost roof tiles because we had 40-mile-an-hour gusts, and it kind of came through the community in a north-south fashion. We don't normally get wind that runs that direction. And it blew a number of tiles off. I had a couple of tiles come off in my home as well. We still have a number of homeowners who have not done the maintenance on those roof tiles. I hate it when the HOA has to sort of be the bad guy and say, look, you haven't done the maintenance on your home. You need to go take care of it. But the truth is the CC&Rs require us to notify you when you've got maintenance issues on your home, and we can write violation notices on those particular incidents. I don't like doing that, and all I really want to do is just sort of make you aware that you've got maintenance issues and you need to take care of them. We will write violation notices. Enough said. Item 12, at the meeting we did talk about a couple of upcoming social events. We are going to have a community garage sale in April. I don't think we've nailed down the date yet, but as soon as we do, we'll let you know. And normally we try and have some sort of a community social event either in April or early May before it gets too warm. Last year we had a hot dog and hamburger and movie night, so I'm not sure what we're going to do this year. But at the March meeting, we should discuss that and nail that down, and we'll get that information out to you. So look forward to that. Item 12, tenant registration requirements. At the January meeting, the board approved a policy that was provided by PDS and really does embody what's going on in the HOA industry, and that is that the associations want to have some knowledge of the tenants that are living in rental and lease homes. There is an Arizona statute. It is 33-1806.01 There's a link to that in the email that's sent out. Take a look at that. There is going to be a $25 fee to register them. We may modify that fee if necessary, but hopefully you don't have that much turnover that the $25 fee won't be onerous. And all we really ask is that if you have tenants, you let us know the information that PDS asks for. They've got some forms, and if you'll contact Lisa, she'll make sure that you're aware of the process. Almost done. Here we are, item 14. 2 more to go. The tot lots and the playground sand cleaning. We have a company called Safe and Sound, and they do our tot lot normal cleaning and maintenance inspection every month. We used to have them done once a quarter, and we beefed that up, and we now have them out there once a month. And they advise us of any maintenance issues, any safety issues, and that sort of thing. Recently, they did let us know that it looks like, as just happens over time, a little bit of extra debris now is in some of that sand. Some of that is from wind and foliage and that sort of thing, and some of it is people dropping stuff. And they recommend that we have the sand cleaned, and so we've authorized them to do that sand cleaning for both of the playgrounds, both over at Glen Rosa and Roma Park. And once they finish with that, they'll get back in touch with us. Very often, once they've done that, they determine that the sand actually needs either some addition or what we like to call fluffing up. That bulks up the sand so that it looks good and comes up to the level that it should and is safe as well. So we'll keep you in the loop on that as we get more information on other sand procedures. Okay, now the last item. We actually had 2 visitors at the February meeting. We had Officer Archer of the Avondale Police Department, and we had the Avondale Vice Mayor, Pat Dennis. She's been to one of our meetings before. Both of them were there to talk about primarily the Community Resource Officer program, which Officer Archer and there's an Officer Emmett, who is the other Community Resource Officer. They're basically here to help the communities, like through the HOA and the communities in general around Avondale. One of the things Officer Archer did talk about is the crime statistics. He said that he's looked at the crime statistics for Rio Crossing. He says, while nobody's immune to crime, our crime rate actually looks a good bit better than some of the other communities in Avondale. But he says, we've had a number of vehicle burglaries in recent months. And he says, according to the records, all of the vehicle burglaries that we've had have been with unlocked vehicles. The city has what they call the Lock It, Hide It, Keep It program. And they put out some flyers and some educational material, but basically the idea is lock your car, lock your doors at home, keep your vehicles locked at all times. Don't think, I'm just gonna run in and go get my grocery list, I forgot, and leave it unlocked. And especially don't leave your wallet out in the car. Sometimes there are people in the neighborhood who are, just looking for an opportunity, and don't be their victim. Lock it, hide it, put it underneath something, keep it on your person. Don't leave things in your vehicle for an extended time. Don't leave your wallet, your cell phone, purses, those sorts of things. The other thing that Officer Archer talked about was a thing called the Report It program. And in spite of what the name is, it really is described as a citizen property inventory system. It's a place where you can go and list items that have serial numbers and a description with them. And if anything should ever be stolen, that's on record. You can actually print out and hand to the police officer, and that will help them recover property for you. And it sounds like a decent program. They've given us some information on it, which we'll make available on our website. It was a good meeting. Vice Mayor Pat Dennis did answer a couple of questions for the board. We had a couple of questions about roads and traffic and speeders and that sort of thing. So, we'll continue the dialogue there, and I'm sure we'll see Officer Archer again at another meeting in the future. So next time we bill that he's going to be at the meeting, come on out. All right, that's it. 15 whole items, and I don't know, how long did that take? Hopefully you're still with me. I appreciate you hanging in there. I appreciate you reading the emails and staying informed. If you have any questions, you know that you can reply to those MailChimp emails. The response will come to me. So if you have any questions or anything, respond to those. Many of you have my direct email address. You know that you can write me. I get emails from several of you in Rio Crossing each month, and I do my best to handle any information requests. And if you have any questions, if you want to know more about our finances, you want to know more about our reserve study, you want to know more about the landscape revitalization program and how we got where we are and that sort of thing, by all means, send me a note and I'm happy to respond and correspond with you. And I'll even meet with you. If you want to meet out by the Ramada at Roma Park on a Saturday morning, that's always a good time for me. And sometimes I can meet in the evening. I'm generally up early, so if you want to meet early one weekday morning, I can meet you for coffee or something like that. So I'm happy to discuss anything about the association. Again, until next time, I hope you like the video approach to the monthly MailChimp. And if you would, put a comment down below to let me know whether you like it or not. And maybe we'll do this again next month. Wave to your neighbors, drive safe, drive the speed limit, be safe out there.